Hey everyone, welcome back to another video on the JayBee Milly channel. I am JayBee, and as you can see on the screen today, we're going to be talking about not necessarily the newly announced, but I guess the newly presented Scooby Doo and Looney Tunes Funko Pops. Now this is a line that they are doing for the centenary event of Warner Brothers, so if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be in April next year, so 2023. So let's break this down and kind of go through exactly what we think of them. So judging by our visual, we're going to go from the left hand side. So how they look in the box. Honestly, there isn't a great deal to say about it. I mean, I have some opinions about the allocation of some of them. Like for instance, Bugs as Fred I think is kind of perfect because for all Fred isn't the face of the franchise, he definitely is considered the lead of Mystery Inc. And so to have Bugs Bunny, who is kind of the main character of Looney Tunes, I think that's fair to say, be Fred, I think that works out very well. And let's not overlook the fact that Fred's ascot is carrot orange. So it makes sense for the bunny to be attracted to that piece of Fred's clothing. The one that I don't really like at all in terms of how it lines up with their personality is the next one, and that's Daffy as Shaggy. Now, there are two versions of Daffy, you could argue. There's one cynical Daffy that you see in, say, Looney Tunes Back in Action, where he's sick of playing second fiddle to Bugs Bunny, and he's just grumpy in general. And then there's that wacky Daffy that you see at the start of the Warner Brothers logo that's screaming and shouting and doing a lot of funny hijinks. And that version of Daffy is obviously a lot more Shaggy. In my opinion though, what they've done with this is they've almost picked their most iconic Looney Tunes characters and then retroactively tried to fit them into the guy. And honestly, everywhere else it works pretty much perfectly. It's just when I think about Daffy, my personal opinion is I think of cynical, kind of sarcastic, a bit like the Wednesday Addams of Looney Tunes, if you like. And when I think of Shaggy, I think of the opposite of that, more fun-loving, free spirit, jokes. So I can kind of see it, but at the same time, you know. Then again, if Daffy wasn't included at all, it would be a bit odd. So ultimately, I think the way they've done it is perfect. And speaking of perfect, Lola Bunny as Daphne is a genius move. I can't think of how they could have done this any better. And look at that pose there. I honestly think that this is the one for me to get personally. Like, if I could only afford one of these pops, it's going to be Lola Bunny as Daphne, let's be real. And let's not forget the opportunities that this opens up into. Like, we could get double signed Funko Pops at this point. So I don't know who the current actor is for, say, Daffy and Bugs. After Joe Alaskey sadly passed away, I think all of that's gone to Eric Bowser, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Maybe have to fact check me in the comments. But you could imagine getting, say, Matthew Lillard to sign the top half of Daffy and Eric Bowser to sign the second half of Daffy. Equally, I don't know who plays Lola Bunny. I know recently she had like a celebrity voice, which was Zendaya. It'd kind of be cool to have like Grey Delisle and Zendaya's signature on the front of that box. It's actually really cool potential. So yeah, my favourite is far and away Lola Bunny as Daphne. But I think one that also works pretty well as well is Tweety Bird as Velma Dinkley. Now, I don't think their personalities are particularly compatible, but that being said, it works. Because you'd imagine Tweety being a bit more timid, and the voice has kind of got that level of squeakiness as well. I don't know. Tweety doesn't really work on paper, but in terms of looks and visuals, I think it might be the one that they've nailed the design, or at least the blend of the design with the best out of this set. I think that's absolutely incredible. And now another one that at first I kind of didn't like, admittedly, and that was the Tasmanian Devil as Scooby Doo. Because I kind of think that for a Scooby Doo collection, there really is no Scooby. Like, I understand that these are the Looney Tunes characters cosplaying as the gang almost, but for a Scooby Doo celebration, essentially, to not have that iconic face of Scooby anywhere is a little bit jarring. But the way that they've creatively weaved the design work into the Tasmanian Devil Like, that's not a whirlwind that we're seeing that we would normally see from Taz. That's a Scooby dog collar. That's crazy. And at first I didn't like that there were multiple Scooby collars, like Scooby tags there, because it was almost like, oh, he just looks like a Christmas tree. There's like Scooby ornaments hanging. But I think what that's meant to symbolize is how quick that whirlwind's meant to be going, which I think is absolutely fantastic. It also could be a kind of nice tongue-in-cheek reference to Scooby Doo 2 when Scooby turned into the Tasmanian Devil. That'd be a fantastic way to get things full circle. In fact, if you can get like Neil Fanning's signature on that Funko Pop, that to me is an ultimate grail. And now we're going to move on to, I guess they're just out of the box there. You get a better look of them, but not a great deal. They still look amazing. In an ideal world, we would get all of these pops, and yeah. Now we have a pop ride. So admittedly, we've not been the greatest fans of these. We did pass on one. I think it's a no. I think we're thinking about Adorbs. Maybe we don't have any pop rides then. No, I mean, honestly, it's worth it alone for the Mystery Machine. Because with Funko, for all people have their opinions about their practices and, you know, their stocking issues and even their quality control, if you notice some of the drama with the sodas lately. But we know that ultimately they are most likely going to deliver a quality product. And for a Scooby fan, a quality Mystery Machine is not something that they can overlook in a hurry. Especially not if they get the price point right. And that's another point as well. I don't know what prices these are. We don't know when they're going to be released. Like I say, we maybe are looking for an April release 2023 or before then. But really, with it being a centenary event, anytime from January to December next year is fair game because it's the centenary year. So really can't tell with these. I hope though that because Warner Bros. Is worldwide, they're not impossible to get in the UK. But I mean, HBO Max isn't even in the UK, so I'm not holding my breath. But we are going to be posting more content about these because one thing that sticks out to me is the sodas. The lack of sodas is kind of disappointing. Maybe it's because I've become addicted to sodas lately, but it would have been nice to see some of them here. And let's not forget, quite often they will announce a Funko Pop line and then they'll announce a wave 2, or we will have some exclusive. Like, I'd imagine for rights reasons and to kind of, maybe this is diplomatic or they've got an agreement with, say, Target or Walmart, we could expect some Target and Walmart exclusives. Now, I'm like in full optimist mode here. So I'm thinking, you know, flocked Tasmanian Devil exclusive to Walmart, or, you know, Daffy as Shaggy's hair being flocked exclusive to Target, or something along those lines. Maybe, you know, Velma's glasses on metallic and it's a Forbidden Planet exclusive, or it's, I don't know, what else do they have in like a box lunch exclusive, you know. But it could just be that the standard pops get exclusive rights elsewhere, which would make it so difficult to collect. But regardless, we're going to be talking about maybe ranking these, maybe talking about who we would have included, you know, more characters, more, you know, variations on who could have been what. Like, for instance, who would Scrappy have been, or who would have dressed as Scrappy? That would have been an interesting one. Perhaps Velma. There could have been a way where Velma will have been Sylvester and Scrappy could have been Tweety. That would have been interesting. I don't know. We're going to discuss all this in future videos. Please let us know what content you'd like to know or what content you'd like to see surrounding these, because there definitely is a lot to unpack here. And of course, as you can see from the visual, at FunkoInfo_, I think that's the same for both Instagram and Twitter. I'll link them in the description down below. They were the people responsible for presenting these to the world, so huge thank you to them. Don't know how they got it, but I'm so glad that they did, because this is absolutely incredible. So huge shout out to FunkoInfo_. You're absolutely amazing. So yeah, if you do want to hear more content from us, then please like, comment and subscribe. JayBee Milly.